Well, hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Tommy here with the Off Grid Nation channel. Hope you're all doing well. I am back down at the Off Grid property, Off Grid Acres, and it is Friday, February 3rd. Coming down to the property, some of you have known from past videos that I've had some issue with people not respecting my property lines and my posted signs. It doesn't look like anyone was down here. I did see a dirt bike track coming down the main driveway, but it turned around at the gate, and I don't see any evidence of anyone going around it, so that's positive. You might be able to see behind me here, these are the trees that we cut down last week. A lot of you guys asked me why I didn't use my tractor, and well, if you saw my video of how I destroyed Buck when I used him to try to prop up a tree, that might give you some hint as to why I didn't. But I didn't have a ball on the end of my tractor, and I have a box blade hooked up to it, so rather than unhook that, put a ball on there, it was just easier just to hook it to my Jeep and pull them away. The trees were cut when I did that. They were just stuck in the ground, kind of still upright, so I just ripped them down there that way. So hopefully that answers your question. That and the fact that my Jeep costs about 1/4 what the tractor does, and again, I'm a little gun shy on ruining it when it comes to messing around with things. So it doesn't mean I don't use it. It just means that the Jeep was easier, and if something did go wrong, it was a lot less expensive than the tractor. So anyway, I'm going to get on the chainsaw. I'm going to cut up some of these logs into manageable lengths. I think I'm going to drag them up and start positioning them around the property to hopefully further get the word out that I don't want people back here. So I'm going to try to start using them to further secure my property. And I got some more molding that I'm going to put up today. I did 1/4 rounds. I cut them in half. I skinned the branches, cut them in half, and then cut them in half again. So I got quarter rounds. I'm going to try to put those in the corners, see how that goes, and I'll show you some of that progress. But I still don't have my GoPro yet, so I'm not going to be setting that up and doing any type of long-term videoing. It'll be short clips, and I'll show you after the fact. Stick around. All right, so after some chainsaw work, I got all these kind of cut up in what may be manageable pieces. I try to keep a couple of really long ones. Try to get them across one of my paths. Stacked up all the branches, and there are a lot of branches up over there, kind of as a backstop. I think I might leave a couple of these and cut them up for firewood, some of the thicker branches. But these logs I'm going to use to block off pathways. Who knows what else. Alright, onto the inside, do some molding. Okay, y'all, just showing you some of the 1/4 round, I guess it's corner molding I put in there. And there's the molding I put up top. You saw that from a couple videos ago. Some more 1/4 round there. I have some more. It was just super cold yesterday, so I just declined to go back outside after I got in and fire up the saw and the generator again. What I'll probably end up doing is I'm going to put a threshold in. I don't know if you can see that down there. Let's see if I can get a little more light on it. I'm going to put a threshold there between the carpet and the flooring. I may put up some 1/4 round inside there. And I'll probably put some 1/4 round all the way around the bottom. But right now, I'm cooking up some coffee here, getting some hot water. Going to get out the French press. Make me a little coffee. Sounds like a siren, but it's just the hot water heating up. Might be able to see outside there. Beautiful sunny, but it's just like 42 degrees. It's chilly outside. I'm only making about 420 watts, 29 amps coming in on the solar. I was expecting more in this full sun. I should have more. I have 930 watts of solar, so we're going to give this another try. Maybe it's the angle. I'm going to do some calculations, and I'm going to keep an eye on it and see as the sun gets higher in the sky whether or not I'm going to be producing more power. If not, I got an issue. I'm going to have to go back and check the wiring. Alright, just a quick update here. I'm up to about 570 watts, coming in at 42 amps because I adjusted the battery voltage. You see it says 13.6 there. It's 13.5 there. It was just 13.5 on both. This is just my meter here that I set up for a battery. Up there it's 13.6 for a battery monitor. And this is at 14.3, so they were off. So I just went into the midnight menu and did a tweak to make them both the same voltage, and then boom, it up the wattage and up the voltage and up the amperage going in there. So that's more like it. Still lower than it should be, I think. Well, I got up early this morning, came outside, and there were some geese on the pond, and I scared them off, else I would have gotten some video for you. They were beautiful. The geese are very confused this year. In January, I see them flying north because it's so doggone warm out here. And then it gets chilly again. I don't know what they're doing, if they're going back south or what's going on, but they seem very confused. And I don't know where y'all fall on, you know, climate change, global warming, all that stuff. I know those buzzwords conjure up, you know, negative connotations of Al Gore and the Democratic Party and the liberals, but you know, when I was down at Deep South Homestead talking to Danny, he says he keeps pretty copious weather statistics, and he's been doing it for years. And he said this year he estimates they're about 3 weeks ahead of their normal growing season. Last year it was about 2 weeks ahead. So it certainly seems as though the weather is changing. It certainly seems, I know some people are talking about a mini ice age. There's debates over whether or not there's more ice or less ice on the caps. I don't know where I fall on all that, except for the fact that it's hard to dispute some of the weird weather we've been seeing. It's hard to dispute the storms that seem to become they're larger, more intense, and they're, you know, we're seeing them more often. Things seem to be changing. I don't know if it's a pole shift. I don't know if it's, you know, we hear a lot about Planet X Nibiru, and maybe this is just part of the larger cycle, and we haven't been around long enough and recorded it to be able to have that type of information available to us, so we know that it's part of a larger cycle. Doesn't mean it's going to be a good part of the large cycle. If it is, it could be disastrous. It could be one of those, hey, this happens every 3,600 years and it's what wiped out the dinosaurs. I don't know. I don't know that you can prepare for something like that if there's a major change in weather for a prolonged period of time. I mean, how good is solar power going to be if we don't have any sun rays hitting the panels for, you know, 2 years or something because of a volcanic eruption that spews ashes into the sky? Right. There's only so much you can do, and I'm not sure where it all comes down or where I fall on all that, except for the fact that, again, it's hard for me to dispute that things seem to be getting different when it comes to weather. We see a lot of bird die-offs, a lot of fish kills, whales beaching themselves. I'm sure all that stuff has always happened throughout history. Maybe it's just the fact that we have everybody with a cell phone that could upload to the internet now that we get more reports of that. Or maybe it's part of a larger problem. And I guess I kind of lean towards a part of a larger problem, just because I do realize that, you know, mankind has not really treated the earth very well over the years, and in particular, you know, governments and the military industrial complex. Sure, they want to blame it on us, and they want to say that we've been, you know, using gas guzzling SUVs, and that's what's creating all this. The reality of it is you can drive a heck of a lot of miles in your SUV, and it's not going to come close to the amount of pollution that some of these missile tests or military operations spew into the atmosphere. They want to charge us carbon taxes, and that's another big hoax. It's another way to control the population. It's another way to extract wealth from the citizens. I don't think that's a solution, but I do think there's a problem. And if you listen to Dane Wigington at all every single Saturday, and I'll probably listen to it on my way home today or when I get home, I listen to his weekly radio address that he does Saturday mornings, and then he uploads it to YouTube. You know, if that guy's for real, and I don't have any reason to believe that he's not, there's certainly some real issues going on in this world. And if we don't pay attention to those issues, if we don't change the way that we are, you know, from what he says, we're probably past the point of no return. It's a matter of just salvaging what we can salvage at this point. I'm not 100% sure where I fall on all this stuff. I have to rely on data that I'm getting from other sources that, you know, you can only verify to a certain extent, and then it comes down to whether or not, you know, you trust this person more than that person, or you trust this entity more than that entity. But no doubt things are getting weird. But when you look up in the sky, you can probably see those chemtrails up there. I mean, going across the sky. See all those little things that look like weird clouds that aren't. That's all chemtrails, guys. That's barium, strontium, and aluminum, nanoparticles that they spray into the sky so they can filter out some of that, some of the sun's rays. And according to Dane and many other sources, those are the things that actually do more harm than good. They're trying to cool the planet because the oceans are warming up at an alarming rate. And I'm saying supposedly to all this stuff because I'm not exactly sure what's true and what's not. But I am erring on the side of something ain't right. And there's a lot of people that say that. There was another guy I saw on YouTube. He lived out in, I think, the Colorado mountains for 10 plus years, or it was longer than that, probably 20 plus years. And every single day he took snow measurements, snowfall measurements twice a day, and temperature measurements twice a day. And he said that he's seeing a trend towards warming. What do you all think of this stuff? Is it all just hocus pocus voodoo? Or do we really have something to be concerned about? I think we probably have something to be concerned about. I'm just not 100% sure what that is. What I do know is that our government lies to us all the time. They're probably the biggest cause of it, and yet they want to come in and be the solution. And the solution is taking more from us. Not much of a solution, if you ask me.